Come on! Unity is a web series filmed and edited by Emily Jansen as she lives in her vehicle, traveling the United States and documenting the many other types of alternative living, exposing audiences to the growing change in perspective and lifestyle for a common unity.
I was working in Breckenridge, Colorado, and was working in a job that I really enjoyed and a company I really liked working for. And I was married at the time that I'd moved there and gotten that job, and I got divorced a year and a half ago. And I just hit a wall where I knew things had to change, and even though I was content, it was just time to grow. There had to be change in my life, and I wasn't really sure where that was going to take me or what I wanted exactly. It's that never-ending question of what do we want to do with our lives, and that we'll ask ourselves that question our entire lives, I'm convinced. So I ended up just saying, I don't know what I want, but I need time to figure that out. Yeah, the whole point of the road trip, I think, was to figure out more about myself and what's next in life. It just takes a little while to get used to it, and I think you get into a rhythm, a flow of your routine. You know, you get up and how do you clean yourself? How do you brush your teeth? How do you cook your meals? I think the challenges are just kind of establishing it's just a different way of life. I think actually the biggest challenge for me was the loneliness, and that's funny because it's what I sought on the road, was to be alone and to just have my own headspace for a long time. But it was challenging in the beginning, and I remember having these moments where I'd run into people on hikes and I couldn't stop talking to them. Like, I felt myself like almost like attacking them with my conversation. Like, I need to talk to someone. But then I got really used to it, and now I almost crave more alone time than I do like to meet people on the road. I've really enjoyed hanging out with myself. I think you have to have a reason to come out here, because it's not luxury living. You go through hard times. I've had some low lows in here. I mean, my truck bed started leaking at one point in Oregon. I caught every major storm that happened literally in the past like 2 months, and I had a fever for 2 or 3 days. But looking back on it, I'm happy that I went through that, because it showed me that I was strong enough. So the bad really teaches you more about yourself, and the more that you get uncomfortable and challenge yourself, the better off that you really truly are. And so yeah, if you're feeling static in your life, it's time to take space and learn about who you are and what makes you tick, and not to be too scared to do it. I'm not that old, I'm 28, but getting older, like, I've noticed fears are reining in. It makes sense, because it's just what happens when you get older. You want to get more and more comfortable. And yeah, I've realized it was time to tackle fears. And so if you have any sort of aversion to this or feel like you can't, that's all the more reason why you gotta.